So this morning, my guest, I'm so excited to have on our show. She is, of all things, an orthodontist. And so as I was kind of doing a little bit of research here, more adults are smiling at the idea of getting braces. It was recently reported that 1/3 of adults are unhappy with their smile, and they believe if they could improve their teeth, they could lead to a better social life, love life, or even a better job. Advanced technology that straightens smiles quicker is playing a huge role in adults turning to orthodontics. Dr. Jennifer Buchanan owns Dr. Buchanan Orthodontics in McKinney and joins us now. Thank you, Dr. Buchanan, for being with us. How are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you? Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You are so welcome. I'm very curious as to your practice, because I think, growing up, we see, kids having a lot of braces, but I sure have noticed, lately that there's more and more adults that have them as well. So is this kind of a newer trend for your business, or is this something that's always been there, but we just haven't really paid attention to it?
Actually, it's a newer trend because with the changes in the technology, it really makes treatment easier and faster and better for adults. And then again, what I see with my patients a lot is the adults come in because they see how great their children's smiles are looking, and they're like, well, hey, I want my smile to be better. And they're like, hey, I'm here anyway with my son or my daughter. I might as well come in with them. I mean, sometimes we have the whole family. We have, husband, wife, and the kids, and they're like, hey,
wow,
we can all get it done and have, fantastic smiles and look good for all of our pictures and family portraits. So it's really an exciting time because of the technology. It has changed what we can do for adults.
So how long have you been in the orthodontics practice?
Yes, my practice has been in McKinney for 18 years.
Oh.
And yes, so I've been here a long time. So I've seen a lot of changes. I mean, it's amazing that the technology just keeps getting better and better. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So when you speak about the technology, is there something in particular that has really stood out in the past 18 years? I mean, I remember the gold, or no, I guess they were silver bands, and all the rubber bands and the headgear and all that stuff. I mean, it was just crazy.
Crazy, and well, that's what's amazing, because all of the new technology, we have what's called the Damon system technology, which has eliminated the headgear and the extractions like we used to have. And then now, what I'm using is called the Insignia technology. And what's amazing about the Insignia technology is that we scan your mouth with the litho scanner. You don't have to make those gooey impression models of your teeth anymore. And then I have a computerized model of your teeth that I can design braces for. So it's almost like having a designer dress made just for you. And we're finding that it's making your treatment go faster and easier. It's amazing. So we are just loving this technology. I mean, we're one of the few in the DFW area that are using it right now, and so it is amazing.
So when you call it Insignia, that's the name of the technology?
Correct. It's called the Insignia technology.
And so with Insignia, what's the I guess what I'm hearing is that one of the benefits is that it speeds things up. Another benefit is that it's customized. So can you go into a little bit more detail and kind of talk to the listeners about, what's the benefit of going through this process versus maybe what some of the other orthodontic practices are offering?
Well, what's great about this is that it takes everything into account about you. We're each unique individuals, and each tooth is shaped so different. And that's what's awesome, is that we can custom fit it where it just fits your tooth and no one else's. Whereas before, with more traditional braces, it's kind of a little more generic. So it's kind of one size sort of fits all, and you have to kind of customize it with wires and more bending and things like that in treatment. Whereas this, it already designs it ahead of time. I'm able to design that on the computer and move the teeth where they need to be. And it's amazing because we can show the patients, okay, here you are now. This is what it's going to look like when we're finished. And that's fun. It has like a whole movie so they can watch the movement of how everything is occurring.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it's amazing. I mean, just this technology. And, of course, they love not having to have those impressions made anymore, the gooey stuff in your mouth that makes you gag. So that's nice.
Yeah.
And then we also have what's called the ICAT technology in our office, where it's a CT scan, and it just takes like five seconds to do the scan, and we have your whole scan of everything. Very low radiation. You're not having to bite into all those plastic tabs and things sticking in your teeth and your jaws anymore. So everything in our office is designed with keeping patients comfortable and helping the treatment to progress as quickly and easily as possible.
So are they invisible or
yes. Yes, ma'am. We do have the clear ones, so you really can't see them. I mean, a lot of times I see a patient in the grocery store, and I'm like, wait, I know we put braces on. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, they have the clear ones. I mean, seriously, even for me, from a distance, I'm like, wait, I know I put braces on, and where are they? And then I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, of course, if you get up and really look, you can see it, but again, it's less and less noticeable. And again, with you not having to wear them as long either, it makes such a difference. It really, really does. Because with this technology, we can move the bone and the teeth. So that helps us to prevent surgeries. That helps us prevent extractions, headgears, and all the things that we used to have to do.
Wow.
It's amazing. It really is. The transformation of things that we can do now that we couldn't do before.
So, is this something similar to what I've seen advertised as the Invisalign, or are those two different products?
It's definitely a different product. With Invisalign, it's more if you just have a few teeth that are crooked, it'll just more like straighten the teeth. It doesn't move the bone and the teeth. You can't get like that widening of your jaw. You can't get the overbite or underbite corrected very well with those. They're mainly for just little rotations in your teeth. So, and once I explain that to people and I can show them the difference, okay, do you want just these teeth kind of straightened, or do you really want to have the changes in your jaws and the benefits of what comes with that? Because one of the things we're seeing also is if we're able to put the teeth back into the bone in the right place, it helps with a lot of the gum recession, and we're able to prevent a lot of the gum surgeries and gum grafting procedures that a lot of adults have to undergo. So that's really a nice thing too. Yes, big time. And so many health benefits to getting your teeth straightened. That's probably a question we're going to talk about later, but it's just so exciting. I mean, the new research shows that if you floss, and we also recommend using a water pick, you're less likely to get dementia and Alzheimer's, is the new research.
Really?
Yes. Because what happens is that bacteria gets in your bloodstream through your gums and, just travels everywhere. I mean, it affects your heart, and they've known that for a long time. I mean, people who are diabetic, it affects them. It affects pregnant women. They usually have low birth weight babies if they have a lot of problems with their gums. So, your mouth is kind of the entryway to your body's health. And so it's very important that you really maintain your health. And when teeth are crowded, it's really hard to floss them. And so this is something that's an extra added benefit. And a lot of adults are taking so much better care of themselves and realize the benefits. Hey, it makes a big difference. This is about my health. It's not just about cosmetic, although there's a huge cosmetic change. But again, there's the big health change too.
So, are you seeing any adults come in that perhaps had braces when they were younger, that maybe their teeth have moved a little bit and it's affected their bite a little bit, but they're not, it's not really noticeable to somebody that's looking at their teeth, but they can just feel that there's been a shift inside their mouth?
That all the time, because the thing is your teeth keep changing throughout your life. I mean, we used to think, okay, once you get them straight, they're going to stay that way forever, but your teeth keep drifting forward and crowding whether you had braces or not. So that's why we always give permanent retainers to our patients, because your teeth can keep moving for the rest of your life. And so that's something very important. And a lot of adults that are coming back in, that their teeth are starting to shift, they're like, oh, I wish I would have had these permanent retainers when I was growing up, because then they wouldn't be back in the office. So that's something great that we're doing in our office as a service to our patients, too, because we want their teeth to stay that way the rest of their lifetime. And so that's why retainers are for life. But again, you just see the collapsing, and sometimes they're starting to break teeth off. They're starting to have jaw issues. I mean, it affects everything when your teeth start shifting. You get headaches a lot of times if they're not in the right position, because it's throwing everything off, your muscle balance, your face. So we really have been able to help so many of the adults with their teeth shifting.
And with the headaches and things like that, is that also, how so many people are getting those night guards because of the grinding of the teeth? Is that part of it too? Because their teeth just don't fit together right?
Correct. So the night guard kind of gives like a kind of a temporary cushion to kind of help that. But what's great about orthodontics, we can move it where it needs to be.
Right.
So that, it kind of will compensate for that. So so we're less likely to have to use as many night guards. Sometimes if somebody's just a clincher grinder, we'll make one anyway just to be sure that they don't, damage their teeth. But again, to get the muscles in the right balance again, and when your bite's in the right position, that makes all the difference in the world.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot more comfortable to eat.
Right, and another thing that we're seeing too is a lot of patients with breathing issues and sleep apnea. It's helping them a lot too, because when your upper jaw really collapses, that kind of affects your breathing. So we've been able to kind of widen those upper jaws and really help the airflow. And I've had 2 patients that had to be on one of those CPAP machines.
Yeah.
And once we did the new technology braces, it was able to where they didn't have to be on the CPAPs anymore, and they both lost like 30 pounds. Because if you're not sleeping well at night, I mean, that affects everything too. So I mean, it's all interrelated, and that's one of the things I love, because it's not just about cosmetics. It's about function. It's about your breathing. It's about your health. It's about your life. It's not just a pretty smile, which of course we love that, and that's awesome. But there's so much more to a pretty smile than on the surface of what you normally think.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea about all of these different. I mean, it totally makes sense now that you say it, but it's not something that I guess I've really put too much thought into before. Thank goodness you have.
Yes, I know. It's great. I know. I mean, and that's what I love about it. It's just that I love to help my patients. I mean, I love the self-esteem they get from the confidence of having that smile. Because there's a lot of adults that come in that just parents weren't able to afford braces at the time, or they're like, your teeth are good enough, but then they're having some issues now, and but they just really appreciate it and really realize what a difference it's making in their lives, and that's what I love about what I do, is that I get to change people's lives and improve their lives, and it's really a blessing to be an orthodontist here in McKinney. I really love it.
So when people come into you, can you predict about how long they're actually going to wear the braces?
Yes. What we'll do is we have people come in for a complimentary free consultation, and we'll do our CT, ICAT X-ray, and we'll take some digital pictures, and then we'll sit down and have a consultation. I'll show them what I'm seeing and what needs to be done, and then how long it's going to be for the treatment. And again, like I said, that's complimentary. You can go on my website, McKinneybraces.com, to learn a little bit more, or call our office, which is also on the website, McKinneybraces.com, and make it a complimentary consultation, and we'll look at it. See what you need and how we can help you.
So is there a kind of an average? I know everyone's so unique and different, but for our listeners out there who are just kind of thinking about, this might be something I'm looking at, is there, like, maybe you said it's shorter now than it used to be, so if somebody maybe had to wear braces a couple of years back in the day, how long would they wear them now? How significant has the timeline been cut? The
timeline's definitely been cut. I mean, probably 12 months. Is what I say.
By half.
A year, 9 months to a year is really what we're seeing. So it's making a huge difference. So you're thinking, okay, a year of my life to make my life better makes such a difference. I mean,
right.
So I mean, it's definitely worth the investment. I know some adults are like, I'm too busy, But what's happened in the past, I've had some parents, like, they come in for the consultation, they get busy, and then they come back in, another 6 months later. We take new updated pictures and x-rays, and we already see things changing in 6 months. I'm like, look how much more you're wearing your teeth. Look how much more your recession's worsening. And they're like, I can't believe it. And so then they're like, okay, I got to do something, because you don't realize how every day it keeps progressing to getting worse and worse and worse, but it'll keep doing that throughout your life. And so that's why it's good when you're healthy, and just to kind of get it and get it taken care of.
Yeah. So if you've just joined us, I'm speaking with Dr. Jennifer Buchanan. She owns Buchanan Orthodontics in McKinney, and you can find her at McKinneybraces.com. Dr. Buchanan, one of the things that you mentioned was permanent retainers. Now, does that mean that they're cemented into the patient's mouth, or what do you mean by permanent?
Yes, they're cemented in. Actually, I have some in right now. So they're cemented behind the teeth. So unless you have me open my mouth real wide, you don't even notice that I have them in. And so it's just great because, I mean, especially a lot of the kids that go off to college, they don't wear their retainers, and then...
Or they throw them away,
so it's just nice. It just makes it a little easier for everyone to have the permanent ones in a lot of ways. you just have to be really good about flossing and using the water pick, but we emphasize that. I probably tell people that. I don't even know how many times I say that in one day to my patients, but I really try to stress the importance of that.
And about how long does the complimentary consultation take?
We usually allow about an hour just so we can be sure to have enough time for questions and to be able to do a real thorough exam. You know, it doesn't always take that long, but we usually just allot an hour of time to do that complimentary consultation.
Okay.
And we'll let you know if you have insurance benefits. A lot of people have flex plans, insurance. We'll check all that for you so you know. We go through all the financial arrangements, payment options. We've got all kinds of different pay plans. You know, we work with your insurance companies. So we really try to make it easy for patients to get the treatment that they need.
Well, that's great because, that's one of the things that, everybody's looking at right now is all their finances and it's always, I think, up to this time in our lifespan where it was more of a luxury to have braces rather than, this is a really and truly big health benefit. And so how do you get people over that kind of shift of their thought process?
Well, education. I mean, I think that's the key. And, being on shows like yours to help educate people, because I think so many of us don't realize the link between your overall health and dental health. I mean, a lot of people just don't even think about that. So, again, it's just that educating the public that, hey, there's more than just a pretty smile. I mean, we love the gorgeous, handsome, pretty smiles, but there's so much more that goes into it, and it's a preventative thing that you can do. I mean, say if you floss, you can add 10 years to your life.
Wow.
That's huge. And, like I said, and I'm a big believer in the water pick, too, because it's almost as good as flossing. I mean, of course, flossing is the ideal, but I know just in our busy lives, we're not doing that every day. If you're using that water pick every day, and especially I like it when my patients have the permanent retainers, are really getting that clean, and it's getting that, clean every day. So, but I think if patients can do that, that's going to make a huge difference in their life.
And are those things portable to where, like, if you travel a lot, you're able to use?
Oh yeah, we carry those in my office just so patients don't have to look all over for them. When we keep them in stock, I just sell it to what I have to pay for it. I don't charge an upcharge or anything for them. I just want my patients to have them. I'm like, this is an important part of your health, and I tell them this is not just with braces. This is something you're going to use the rest of your life. I mean, once you get in the habit of using it, I mean, like for me, like if I don't use my water pick, I just don't feel like I brushed very well.
You can't even go to sleep.
Right. I mean, I have a hard time with it. So I'm like,
I understand.
I've got so I mean, I've got one here at the office. I've got a couple at the house. I mean, I'm just, always am using my water pick. So it really makes things a lot easier, and just I feel good.
So speaking about the flex plans, the insurance, the pay plans, and things like that, how affordable is Insignia compared to the other types of braces? I mean, how do they compare?
Well, actually, the technology is a lot more expensive than traditional braces, but in our office, we have chosen just to keep our prices the same because for us, we just want our patients to get the best technology that's out there. And actually, if they're saving money, they're saving money, but we're also saving time. So kind of time is money. That makes sense. If I'm not having to have patients stay in treatment another 6 months, I'm probably able to offer the technology at a lower price. Does that make sense? Because every time a patient sits in my chair, it probably costs me $200 just for staff, for all the gloves and all the instruments and everything that we use on each patient. So every time they sit down, there's a cost to it. So it helps me to be more efficient, and then I can pass that savings back to the customers.
Right. And the target audience for BizTalk are people who are in business and they own their own business and things like that. So when you started your organization 18 years ago, what did you do to get set up? Did you join a group of orthodontic individuals or professionals, I want to say, that you worked together, or did you just decide, hey, I'm going to be a solopreneur?
I was very blessed. My parents have both owned their own businesses. My father's a dermatologist, and so what he did is he set up a satellite practice here in McKinney. So we had all the finish out done and everything, and I was helping assist him on the weekends when he was there, and so I met a lot of the community, and then I graduated then on Friday, and then Monday my office was open and ready to go.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it was really a blessing. So I just started really small. I mean, I didn't have all the bells and whistles, all the technology like I have now. I just started very basic and just kept building the practice. And so we were really fortunate and to be here in McKinney. I mean, such great patients, such great families, and what's really been exciting, I'm starting to see some of my first patients who are married and having kids old enough to need braces now. So I'm starting to get that second generation of patients, and I just really, I love it, and some of my patients are coming home from college or they've graduated college. I'm like, well, what are you doing now? And, it's just really fun to have those relationships with your patients and their families.
Right. Well, and that's what keeps people referring to you too, is making sure that you're taking really good care of them, and everybody's at the soccer field. It's like, hey, where are you getting your stuff done? And if you're taking good care of them, then word of mouth, no pun intended,
right? Yeah,
is probably the
best. That's definitely our best referral source. I mean, and I just believe in customer service and putting the patients first and their families first, and just being sure that they feel like all their concerns are addressed. I have a really well-trained team. I mean, I need to add it up, but probably with all of us combined, we probably have over 100 years experience between us. And so they're experts in the field, and we try to assign one assistant with each patient, so they have not only me seeing each patient every time, but they'll usually always see the same assistant every time. So they have that real consistency and getting to know them, and they know, how things are best for them. And I think that really makes patients feel very comfortable too.
Oh yeah, they know because it's kind of stressful having somebody in your mouth like that,
Right. You don't know this person. I mean, and like I said, they're all good, but it's just nice that they have that relationship. And again, they understand. Oh yeah, I remember they're a little sensitive on this tooth, or I know they don't like cotton, or they just remember all those little things that are important.
Mm-hmm. So I got to ask before we sign off. Since you're working with the teeth and the bone, is this a really painful procedure?
No, it's not. That's what's really amazing about it, is that with the new technology, with the Damon kind of insignia combined, what we're able to do, we use less force. So when you have heavy forces, that's what causes the discomfort. So we use very, very light, gentle forces, because we're finding it's like almost if you press on your hand, if you press even fairly hard, you kind of cut off the blood supply. So with our Damon technology, you don't have to press as hard. It's not as much friction. So what happens is bone and teeth are able to move because it gets that oxygen in there. And so it's a lot less painful. And actually, I had treatment with traditional braces as a teenager, and then I saw the benefits of the Damon technology before I had the insignia, but even the Damon, and I had those put on 6 years ago. So I could see the difference myself, huge difference between when I was a teenager versus when I had them as an adult, and just to see the changes. And it was so much easier, gentle forces, very gentle.
So what were some of the changes that you personally noticed?
Well, I could just tell that after adjustments, my teeth just really weren't sore at all. I mean, whereas before, they would crank it down,
Yes.
The harder you push, the better it would be. And so you just didn't feel that discomfort of what I used to feel with those heavier forces in the traditional braces. So I could totally tell a difference. And then one of the wires that we use is a heat-sensitive wire, so when it's cold, it kind of is real easy to bend it up however your teeth are positioned. But when you drink hot liquids or rinse with hot water in your water pick, it goes back to shape, so you can feel that gentle movement. So it's really kind of cool and of course the heat of your mouth makes the teeth move faster with this wire too, but it was really amazing. So I'm a big coffee drinker, and of course I'm using my water pick with hot water all the time, so I could really feel it moving, which was
interesting.
Cool thing. So just very gently, though. It wasn't like it hurt, but you could feel it moving and see it moving. And that's what's exciting too. You really see a huge difference very quickly.
Wow. Well, and with everybody wanting fast results with everything, the McDonald's of every kind of different business, we always want to see things happen fast. So that's probably helpful too.
Yes, it totally is. Because that keeps you motivated. Like, oh wow, it is really changing. And
I can see it.
I know, and that's what's great about taking pictures too, because they forget. Because it changes a little bit every day, and so. We pull up their pictures like, do you remember? They're like, no way, I forgot about that dude. And I forget sometimes too. I'm like, oh wow, your teeth really have moved. I know that they do, but sometimes when you just see the picture, like they say, it's worth 1,000 words. You see it, you're like, wow, it's
Yeah, because you just see yourself in the mirror that day, and then you forget what you look like the other day. So it makes sense. So, well, Dr. Buchanan, thank you so much for being on Biz Talk today. Folks, if you'd like more information about Dr. Buchanan and her orthodontics practice in McKinney, you can go to mckinneybraces.com. Make sure that you sign up for a complimentary consultation so you can find out how she can best serve you. And is there any other information that I can give the listeners to contact you with, Jennifer?
My phone number is 972-542-4412. And then another really neat thing that we do, we have a charity called Smiles Charity where we put on concerts to build homes for the wounded military. So we'll be looking every Memorial Day weekend. We have a huge concert behind my office, and this will be our 8th year and our 10th home to build. We have fireworks. Last year we had Brett Michaels, so we haven't announced the winner yet this year, but that's a big thing that we do and get all the community and our patients involved with that. So we've got that coming up. So we also have a toy drive coming up. We deliver to the needy kids around McKinney. So we're always taking new unwrapped toys to be distributed throughout McKinney. So just go on our website and you can get information about all the different projects and things that we're involved in.
Wow, I love that. Well, you guys are giving back to the community and making people look beautiful. So thanks again, Dr. Jennifer Buchanan. Make sure that you guys give her a call, 972-542-4412, or visit her at mckinneybraces.com.